Hello. Today we are going to go over how to add an addendum into Coupa. So the first step is you have to have your fully executed agreement, plus you have to know where the original agreement is located in Coupa. So in this particular case, we are adding an addendum to an Ecolab agreement. So we're going to select the supplier, scroll all the way to the bottom where all the contracts are listed, and we're going to find our contract that this addendum basically extends. So in doing this, I can actually select the details page, and this will show me all of the details so I can confirm this truly is the contract that my addendum belongs to. I'm actually going to scroll to the bottom and I'm going to hit the edit button. And then there's a couple things that I need to kind of redo in this particular edit. So I'm adding the addendum. So I need to know what features or what portions of this contract are changed with the addendum. So we're going to go through each section and we're going to talk about how they change, if they change, etc. So in this particular agreement, the name is the same, the description is the same. The start and expiration date is going to be different. So in this particular agreement, this original contract expired in 2010. Currently, the contract is good until 2020. So I'm actually going to change this date to be 9/01/2020 and select. So that actually extends this agreement through 2020. If my owner or department has changed, I do want to update that. In this particular case, they have not changed. I'm going to scroll down. These are something, so it should still be a maintenance agreement. That shouldn't change. Whether it is or isn't a lease shouldn't change unless you are doing a purchase of leased goods and the extension of the agreement is a purchase and / maintenance extension. That would be a scenario where you would change from lease to no. In this particular case, we're leaving it. The description of services is the same. The key contract terms are the same with the extension. And then we get into the amounts. So the original amount of the contract was for about $19,000 plus an install fee. The current contract amount should be the original contract amount plus the addendum. So in this particular case, the original one, since it expired in 2010 and currently has been extended for many years and currently expires in 2020, that actually changes this amount, and I have to include all of those years in between. So this particular case, we're actually adding a contract into Coupa long after it was executed and it's been auto-renewing for several years. But if this was like a normal, we executed it last year, it was good for a year, and then we're just extending it a year, the current contract value would only be the first year plus the second year. In this case, this contract has been good for about 10 years, so we just need to take that into consideration when we're adding the value in here. So the contract itself is worth $15.99 a year plus the initial $625 for installation. So we have to kind of take 2010 through 2020, so that's 10 years at the annual fee of $15.99. So that's $15,990 plus the $625, right? So we're including the first year plus all the subsequent years. And so our total is actually $16,615. So that's where I'm going to put this new value. So whatever the contract is worth through the extension, that's the value that goes here. The change order details. So technically this isn't a change order, but you can add some addendum details here if you want to. So this was auto renewed for 10 years. No changes were made. It's still an auto renewal. It's still 12 months. Executed date. So this is actually something I need to, so we need to change this because the executed date is when the extension is valid. So if this auto renewed, it should have auto renewed on 9/2 2010 or 2019. So we're going to pick that date. We're going to say good because that gives us our execution, plus it's good for 12. So that gives us all that equals the day that it expires in 2020. So contract signatory, we're going to fill this out because it was John Schober. He's no longer with the company. So we're going to include that. The contract is still active. The relationship type, it's a renewal. And then these are not used for anything that we're doing today. Okay, and then here, this is where we would attach the addendum. So like if we had a brand new addendum, we would attach it here and we would say, okay, here's my addendum, and it would be labeled as such. We can also write a text file here and we can say addendum was routed through Coupa for approval on rec number, right? That's the rec. So that if anyone's questioning who approved the extension, how much was it approved for, etc., they can see that detail here, and you're going to add that. So then anyone looking for that approval through the system can go back and look. Okay. So then we're going to make sure that Blackhawk is still selected as the one property that it is in the content group for. And then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to save and publish. So once I save and publish, this now is eligible for me to attach the next set of requisitions or the requisition that'll take billing through 2020. And you can see our contract was successfully updated and published, and now all of that information is in one document, so we can start issuing billing POs. That is how you enter an addendum or a change order in Coupa.